Welcome to the road to 200K, a weekly journey following Bitcoin's climb through markets, madness, and milestones. No hype, no noise, just signal. Each week, we'll look at where Bitcoin really stands, the price, the psychology, and the power shifts shaping the next move. So, grab a drink, lean back, and let's take the first step together on the road to 200K. And if you'd rather understand the climb than just chase the hype, hit like and subscribe. It helps more than you think. Bitcoin drifts between 104 and 116,000, gliding above the 200-day line like a climber catching his breath. To most, it looks dull. To the patient, it looks disciplined, because a correction isn't pause, it's preparation. Conviction over comfort, momentum over noise. And above that long-term average, the climb quietly continues. Meanwhile, retail investors are getting restless. They stare at charts, scroll through Twitter, and wonder if they've missed the train. But that's the irony. Most people don't miss Bitcoin because it moves too fast. They miss it because they move too slow. Let's be honest, retail doesn't hate Bitcoin. They just want it with customer support. They love the idea of financial freedom, as long as it comes with a password reset link. And that's why billions now flow into Bitcoin ETFs. Exposure without responsibility, ownership without understanding. It feels safe, but it's not sovereignty. A ticker isn't a key, and comfort is the most expensive illusion in finance. The same people who fear losing their coins trust third parties that can lose everything for them. Self-custody still scares the average investor, but fear is part of the process. Every Bitcoiner remembers the first time they held their own keys. It feels heavy, and it should, because for the first time, you're actually in charge. Then there's the psychological trap. People look at Bitcoin at over $100,000 and think, too expensive, but they'll happily buy 20 meme tokens at 0.0001 cents each. It's called unit bias, the illusion that cheap means opportunity. It's the same logic as saying, I can't afford a house, but I can buy 20 sheds. The problem isn't math, it's mindset. Bitcoin doesn't need to be owned whole. Just 0.1 BTC already puts you in the top few percent of all humans on Earth. But that requires zooming out, and most people don't zoom out. They scroll. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't reject Bitcoin because it's risky. They reject it because it's responsible. Fiat thinking, teaches dependence. You earn, you save, and someone else manages the rest. But Bitcoin, well, it flips that on its head. No middleman, no insurance, no permission. Just you. And honestly, the consequences of your choices. That level of freedom isn't what schools teach. It's what life teaches. And sometimes it does so painfully. The average person isn't stupid. They're just, trained to trade responsibility for comfort. That's why they buy exposure instead of ownership. That's why they'd rather trust a fund than trust themselves. And that's why this market keeps offering opportunity to those who can think differently. So what's actually happening right now? Institutions are still quietly accumulating. ETF flows fluctuate, but the overall tide is rising. BlackRock didn't discover freedom. They discovered fees. Mining firms are expanding again, and every major energy discussion now includes the word Bitcoin. Meanwhile, developers keep building quietly in the background. Wallets are getting easier, seedless, safer, so the next wave of adoption won't come from hype, but from usability. The infrastructure is maturing. The question is, are the people? If you want to actually do something this week, here's a simple challenge. Move a coffee's worth of Bitcoin to a wallet you control. Not for yield, not for speculation, just for the experience. Because a wallet teaches you more about money than a decade of financial news ever will. Sovereignty without effort is a sales pitch, not a system. And the longer you wait to learn it, the harder it becomes to trust yourself. Bitcoin doesn't punish ignorance, it simply waits. Every block rewards patience. Every cycle humbles the arrogant. While the crowd chases the next shiny coin, you're here, quietly building conviction. Remember, when everyone understands it, the opportunity is already gone. So stay focused, stay sovereign, and don't mistake silence for weakness. This calm is just the climb catching its breath. That's it for this week on the road to 200K. If you'd rather understand power than just price, subscribe, drop a like, and share this with someone who still thinks a ticker means ownership. It helps more than you think. I'm Alpine Hodler, and the climb continues.